I finally figured out what the terminal list, Dark Wolf, reminds me of, not another show, but the 2019 reboot of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. Oddly, it's not due to the sheer volume of tactical operators shooting each other in war-torn cities. That's fairly standard fare. It's more about the show's moral stance and tone. Like the game, Dark Wolf leans heavily into a grim, morally ambiguous depiction of war and espionage, full of ends justify the means scenarios that are meant to provoke thought, albeit in a heavy-handed way. Episode 5 leans into that vibe particularly hard, and while it's often bleak and unsubtle, it still somehow manages to be effective. A good example of this is a subplot involving Hastings, who captures and tortures a courier from the previous episode's ambush. Tom Hopper's performance as the increasingly unhinged Hastings is disturbingly convincing. The grim twist? The tortured man is revealed to be a German intelligence agent, an ally, not an enemy. Hastings realizes this only after the man dies from his injuries, underscoring the futility of torture. The message is clear and consistent with what modern research says: torture doesn't work, and in this case, it even backfires tragically. It's a darkly ironic moment that drives home the show's moral message, albeit. But that's just one of 3 major storylines in this episode. The central plot follows Edwards, who somehow survives being shot multiple times by Eliza in the previous episode. Despite this, the two reluctantly team up. The show quickly reframes Eliza's betrayal. Mossad had assigned her and Tal to track down the Shepherd, a longtime CIA asset who may actually be manipulating the entire situation from the shadows. The twist is timely, if controversial, casting the CIA as potentially corrupt while painting Mossad as the more righteous actor is a geopolitical minefield, particularly in the current climate. Still, the ambiguity keeps the stakes high. Eliza's explanations, like having my own assignment doesn't mean I betrayed the team, sound weak, especially since she literally shot Edwards. But he buys it, perhaps too easily, which raises questions about his judgment. Would he have been so forgiving if she weren't attractive? It's a fair criticism, but also a convenient way to move the plot forward. After all, it's more entertaining to watch them team up than dwell on the betrayal. The episode's action sequences continue to impress. As Edwards and Eliza head toward Stein, a town north of Zurich with crucial bearings, they're ambushed again. Driving a bright baby blue Mini Cooper, not exactly stealthy, they're easily tracked by assassins on motorcycles. One of them plants a bomb on their roof, killing Eliza in a grisly explosion and leaving Edwards rattled but alive. True to action hero form, he recovers quickly enough to kill their attackers and grab the bearings. Now completely alone, surrounded by enemies and unsure whom to trust, he presses on, protected, it seems, by an impenetrable layer of plot armor. Meanwhile, Tal is in Munich, tracking Haverford's secret communication network. She infiltrates a safe house and engages in a vicious fight with a hulking bearded man who appears harmless at first, painting figurines in his downtime. The fight ends brutally. Tal sets his head on fire after downloading key data, then vomits in a rare moment of grounded realism. Whether she manages to transmit the data remains unclear, but the damage is done. In summary, the terminal list. Dark Wolf continues to balance intense action with murky moral themes. Episode 5 is especially dark, but its mix of psychological tension, shifting allegiances, and visceral violence keeps the audience engaged, even when the storytelling edges into implausibility. The show may not be subtle, but it delivers the adrenaline and ethical gray areas its audience expects.